Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video slash episode on this YouTube channel slash podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today, whether you are watching me on YouTube or listening on Spotify. Welcome or welcome back. Now, today, y'all, I'm going to start off this video with a very interesting analogy that hopefully, if you get it, you get it. But if not, I'm going to explain it to you. So, raise your hand if in the audience we have any Kendrick Lamar fans. Kendrick Lamar fans, not like us, not just money trees, not just poetic justice, okay? Fans. Like, I know a lot of people didn't really vibe with Kendrick Lamar's last album as much as I did. I really, really liked Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And this is not a music commentary video, but I am going to be taking a analogy that Mr. K. Dot has presented me. If you have listened to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, there's a very, very underrated song called Mother I Sober. And if you listen to it, you will cry. This is one of those songs that I feel like is easy to skip over because other stuff is just more hype or whatever. I remember around the time of the whole Kendrick versus Drake beef, people were mentioning that song, and I re listened to it like earbuds in, eyes closed. I started shedding tears, and the whole like chorus of the song is you haven't felt pain till you felt it sober, right? And to me, this lyric hits. It hits so hard because he's talking about in his song making decisions or going through things and how he's never really been like a drinker or a smoker. Like, he's made bad decisions completely on his own. He's gone through things completely there and all this stuff. And it's just like he's expressing how, like, in this world, so many people use substances, use other people, use their body. Like, there's just so many distractions to deal with pain. But like, you haven't really felt that, so you like don't use a distraction like that, and it's actually just you and your thoughts, and it's like, oh, I gotta deal with this. I can't escape how I'm feeling. Man, I related to this lyric so hard because if you aren't new to my channel, hello. I'm a 21-year-old girl who lives a typically boring life compared to my other peers. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've never like had a rebound. I don't like date around. I haven't been on a date in over a year. I haven't been with anyone in over a year. I just tried a dating app for the first time for real, like a couple weeks ago. So it's my first time out here, but still haven't met anyone in person. And I just feel like what Kendrick said relates to me so much because although I'm not knocking or saying I'm above anyone who uses distractions, who uses substances, other people, stuff like that to, just move past their pain and move past their hurt, that's not what I'm trying to say. Because I completely understand how that is such an easy way to cope. Like, I feel like in the Western world, you're not taught. I mean, we're getting better. We're getting better with therapy and mental health, resources and stuff like that. But still, when it comes down to society, like, it's always just so like, you got to move on. What can you do? On to the next. There's this available. There's that. There's no reason to blah, blah, blah. And so I completely understand why so many people move in ways that might not be the best out of pain because it's how life works. Like, this life sucks. Sometimes you just need something. You just need a distraction. But as someone very emotional, very sensitive, and just very closed off, who I've never really moved this way. Like I said, I don't use substances. I've never been the type of person, like, I know a lot of people after breakups and stuff, it's like just get up under someone else, just like at least to distract you for the moment. I could never just bring myself to do stuff like that. I'm like, no, I have to deal with how I feel. Like, I can't, like, I gotta. And I'm not saying one route is more hurtful than the other, like, because obviously when you use other distractions, substances, people, it doesn't last forever. You have to deal with your feelings eventually. So whether, you're more like me or you're more like someone who finds like outside sources and validations to distract you, either way, it's so hard. But because there's a lot of pain in this world and a lot of people who, cope in different ways, a lot of times I just be feeling so misunderstood about my emotions because y'all, I'm just out here raw dogging everything, every emotion, every heartbreak, every disappointment, every traumatic experience, every backstabbing situation. And I'm just like, well, well, damn. And it's like, it's just me. It's just me. I don't have anything that's like an escape, like how some people, and like it takes their mind, it keeps them busy. Some people go party, some people just indulge in another person. Like, I just, I feel like no one talks about how hard it is to deal with things and just sit with yourself. Because, like I said, like, the world is just so damaged on like this toxic positivity and toxic productivity that it's like sometimes when you do that, you're seen as like, you're like other. Like, why are you sad about that for this long? Why are you this? Why are you that? There's tons of other, but nonetheless, if you're a little bit like me, none of that matters because our feelings are valid. And I also think that it's very brave to face head on, not use distractions, not use things like, and just like genuinely sit with yourself because it is literally so hard and such a struggle. But at the same time, it is so liberating and so needed. I've had so much downtime in this past year by myself from being single for over a year, being unemployed for a while, living in a house where I didn't really talk to anyone else, and literally just having myself, my emotions, my thoughts. And let me tell you, it sucked. It sucked. It really sucks. Like, I don't wish um, that type of pain or feeling of aloneness on anyone. But I just feel like if I didn't have that space, I would not have been able to grow and do the things that I'm doing right now. When I had all that time to have my thoughts and feelings to myself, I started having really bad anxiety. I started having a lot of realizations about my last relationship that I knew was abusive, but I realized that it was not, in fact, just abusive emotionally, it was sexually too. Dealt with panic attacks, flashbacks, nightmares, all that stuff. And again, because of like the toxic productivity of this world, I just tried so hard to like, okay, like, but it's over. I'm out. Like, I don't want to think about this. Like, I'll just get through it, blah, blah, blah. And I tried that for months. And y'all, especially to my black people out there, let me tell you, because I know my community is very scared of the T word. Sometimes you need a little help. I went through that. I went through the worst anxiety of my life sitting with my own thoughts and realizing this. But if I didn't, then I would have never made the decision to go back to therapy. If I didn't sit with all these thoughts and deal with everything in my head, I would have never moved into a better environment. It's just like all these things, y'all, because as much as I would never wish pain, loneliness, all that on like the good people, the pure souls in the world, like when you think about it, we're kind of nothing without it. Like, we talk about balance and like, when we talk about people we love, of course we want the best for them, us. We're talking about ourselves too. Like, we want the best, but think about your character development. And I'm not saying that any of your trauma, any of your pain was excused or just supposed to happen or you wouldn't, but I'm saying like without balance, I feel like of happiness and depression and highs and lows and all that, like I wouldn't be me. Like I wouldn't be the me I am here right now, talking about my experience, talking about my healing journey, raising awareness around sexual assault have if I didn't have these experiences. Like if I didn't have these experiences, I would be nothing. And like that sounds so deep. It sounds so deep, but like imagine someone who nothing bad has ever happened to them. How would they be able to help people? like, or spread their light, or just like, not even just on a scale of like me having a platform, but just like regular people comforting people they know and stuff. It's just like when you're not aware of pain and problems that people go through, especially outside of yourself, it's kind of just like you're in your own little bubble, which, you know, sounds really nice, but unfortunately, it's not the case. It's not the case because whether it's the type of abuse I went through, a different type of abuse, experience loss, experience any kind of pain, like everyone has some sort of experience or eventually will. Because I really used to be that person, y'all. Like, I'm so blessed to have such a beautiful, safe, happy childhood that I know like a lot of other people can't relate. Some people experienced abuse for the first time as children, experienced pain, heartbreak from family members like as children. I never really had that. But let me tell y'all, around 16, 17, 18, when when that high school graduation hits, shit hits the fan. Shit hits the fan. I went from dealing with grief, dealing with heartbreak, dealing with depression, dealing with abuse, dealing with anxiety, like dealing with financial problems, dealing with life crisis problems. And it's just like, oh, y'all are letting up, huh? Like they got me like this, like this. And I love and hate that for me because I can't say I warranted any of the bad things that happened to me. I've always tried my best, and tried to be kind and tried to treat other people how you want to be treated, the golden rule. But that is what made me me. Like life literally teaches you. Like I wouldn't have the consideration, I wouldn't have the knowledge, I wouldn't also have the strength to set my boundaries, be the person who I am, like help other people and stuff without like all these experiences that made me who I am. But just like tying this back to the original analogy that I took from Mr. Morale in the beginning of the video, it's not a fun process. It's not a fun process doing this sober, doing this no distractions. And at this point, I'm not even just talking about people like me who never really indulge in just get back up under someone else or just go out more or just because eventually anyone who does that too, I feel like eventually does have to do that sober because those time periods don't last forever. You are eventually going to be alone. You're eventually going to have to sit with your thoughts. And when you do, I wish you all the love and healing in the world because it's not easy to realize the things you've been through, realize the wrongs you've done, like take it all in. It's a lot. It's a lot. I promise you it's not going to be fun for a while, but the outcome is so needed. It's so sad, y'all, and I know especially with things like social media, like being such a big thing, it almost sometimes can feel like you feel so othered when you struggle or go through hard times or feel like you're going insane because it seems like they didn't go through this. They just like had bumps here and there, but like because I feel like nobody talks about that. But I promise y'all, you ask anyone you know or you ask one of those influencers in real life, everybody felt crazy one time. Everybody felt depressed at one time. Everybody was about to lose it. Like it's a common experience. No matter how people try to spin it, pain is unfortunately a part of life. And yeah, like kind of what I said in my other video, about embracing your negative feelings, um, it's not always going to make sense. It's going to be confusing. Like, one of my least favorite feelings is not only feeling misunderstood, but feeling confused, which is something I've felt so often in my dating life, y'all. Like, literally yesterday, I was talking to this guy for like a week. It was going great. He was acting like he was all serious. He asked me on a date. Day before the date, didn't hear from him. Only heard from him once when he texted me after like hours back saying, "Hey, I'm busy right now." Mind you, it was the end of the day. I was like, that's kind of rude to not communicate with me all day. Like I was so confused the night before, y'all. We was literally caked up on the phone. Like we was literally caked up on the phone talking about the date. Like acting like that. I'm just like, I feel like so inconsiderate that you didn't communicate all day. Like when can you talk? Blah blah blah. He never responded, y'all. He never responded, and I woke up the next day blocked on everything. I got ghosted, blocked, and stood up on a date for the third time this summer, all in one day. All in one day. And sometimes you can see the signs. I really didn't see this one coming. I cried for like 2 hours when that happened. So I obviously very hurtful because like I said, I hate to feel confusion. That'd be different if someone communicated me like something changed somehow in the past 24 hours and this is why, or I can't see it. Like it'd be different. But like just like I've never been ghosted before. So someone just like whew, like turning into a ghost overnight really confused me and hurt me because on top of that, obviously I'm a frustration crier, so I cried because I was frustrated. But on top of that, I have just been disappointed over and over again. I feel like life doesn't give me a break. Sometimes my last relationship, like I said, was literally abusive. I've stayed so strong in my boundaries, so confident in not settling for less. I've gone to therapy, I've put in so much work, but yet I just can still not stop being disappointed, even when I'm selective with the people I pick. And does it make sense? No. Is it ever going to make sense? No. Because I blocked that hoe back and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. See, that's the problem is I know it takes some people like a long time to get to this point, but I feel like when you put in the work, you get to the point where even if you're confused, even if you're hurt, you still aren't going to make room for to settle. Like I cried, I was sad for a little bit, I was disappointed, I'm obviously confused. I had my little 2 hours, and then I was just like, you're blocked back because I never want to hear from you again. I don't even want to hear the excuse because like someone who was meant for me, someone who was my husband, someone all that would never just do that to me and then be able to come back like no, you're done, nigga, you're done. But I was not always like that. Like a year ago, I was the type of, oh yeah, I'll hear you out. Oh, you did this. Like I've always been so empathetic where I feel like because I can see right through people, I'm like, oh, you act like that. You have this. You have these scars. You have these wounds. I'm like, I get it. So I'll hear you out. I'll let you try again. But no, going like I said, going through all this sober, sitting with my feelings, literally having to understand myself and where I've come from, taught me that like I can empathize with people, understand them, have compassion for them, but that doesn't mean I get to hear you out a million times, baby. I have trauma, I have issues, I have all that too, but but I'm not treating you like that. Okay, we are not the same hoe, we are not the same what. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I be going all over the place when I'm speaking from the heart. Hopefully, you guys are catching what I'm putting down. But yeah, to anyone who relates to Mother I Sober by Kendrick Lamar, go listen to it, who relates to that chorus. Shout out to you. Anyone who's ever gone through pain, had to realize it, had to sit with your feelings. Shout out to you for however you cope with it, whether it makes you cry, whether you're too numb to cry, whether it makes you angry, whether you keep moving on in life, or whether you take that mental health break for yourself, whatever it is, this life is freaking hard. It's so hard. So I just commend you for recognizing your feelings and having the courage to sit with yourself because it is one of the hardest things ever, and we're all trying our best. So be nice to each other and be nice to yourself and give grace to yourself, okay? You deserve a little love, especially from the source. That's you. Thank you guys so much once again for listening to me yap it up for another video. Something that I hope I said something helpful. I hope I made someone feel seen because we're all going through it at one point or another, and it's normal. It's fine. No matter what people show, it's okay. We're all going a little insane. It's okay. All right. If you were able to take something from this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. I have a whole playlist called Yap Sessions, or my podcast on Spotify with all similar stuff. So just go ahead, go ahead and binge it. I know you want to. I know you want. Thank you guys for making it to the end of this video slash episode, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.